Are you tired of survivors kicking you around or Cypher Rush putting you down? Then I think Clerk might be the hunter for you. Welcome, I'm Logan. Today we're going to be doing a comprehensive guide. This will be the basics for how to play Clerk. I'd say this is more geared towards beginner Clerk players or people that have never played her and just want to know the basics. But as we go further along, it can be suited for the beginners as well as even the intermediate and advanced Clerk players, just because as we keep going, there will be more tips and tricks brought up that maybe you or even I haven't thought of. So if you learned something along the way, let me know. Or if you want to teach me something, leave it in the comments. But without further ado, let's get into it. So today we're going to be playing around with Clerk a little bit and getting to know the ins and outs of her basic character. And I know you haven't heard my voice yet, but you're going to today. I wanted to start off by saying, so she's technically a difficulty 3 hunter. I would put her myself, I mean, I know and I'm kind of biased because I'm an A tier Clerk right now. I used to be an S tier. I would put her as a 2.5 maybe, but as far as the three-star difficulty hunters, I would say she's the easiest one to learn, because you have other hunters like Dream Witch and especially Mad Eyes. Mad Eyes is really difficult. But yeah, I would definitely put Dream Witch and Mad Eyes above her in difficulty. Then you'll also notice up in the external traits, she is the only hunter to not have a single one. I'll go to, okay, Nightmare's not a really good example of how an external trait, no. So we'll go to Wax Artist. So he has these 2 external traits that come with his hunter. Like that just comes with him. That's like his soul. It comes with him. As far as presence goes, Clerk has a ton of presence skills, so I think it balances out no external traits with all these presence abilities. We'll start out with the basic record. So with record, you pick who you want to record first. Obviously, if it's a survivor, a cipher machine, you can record survivors, you can record cipher machines, and even activatable gates during endgame. And then also you can record Clerk herself doing whatever ability you want to record her doing, whether that be vaulting, breaking a pallet. And also survivors' vaulting speed while they're being recorded decreases by 20%. So, and then another big thing, this is why I rarely use my own hunter clips as recordings, because with Clerk recordings, you only get 1 copy of each of hers. Whereas with survivors, anything that they do, you get 2 copies of. So I'd rather have 2 copies of a survivor dropping a pallet than 1 copy of me breaking a pallet and walking through it. Because, I mean, 2's better than 1. I mean, you can do a lot with the record function. What the heck? Okay. So following up with the record function, you can replay the clip that you just recorded. It'll replay the clip wherever it was recorded. If you just re-click the recorded clip, you have to actually click and drag the clip to interact where you want it to on the map. Otherwise, it'll just replay itself where it was actually recorded on the map at that time. If you're a hunter, let's say I want to record Clerk hitting something. So I have that recording. You'd think that with the recording, you would get like 1 full hit damage, but it's actually half. So you'll get a chip damage if you hit a survivor with your recording of Clerk hitting something. To mention an end game, if you bring detention, which we'll get to later, if you bring detention, one of her hit clips does count as a full hit. If you weren't in detention, you did a hit clip, that would be a chip damage to like half the normal damage. But since you're in detention, you'll actually deal a full hit damage with a recording of a hit clip with Clerk. Next, so inspect. This is basically a bird's eye view of whatever you're recording. So let's say you want to look around, see where these survivors are decoding. And let's say you see a shaky cipher machine and you're like, oh, somebody's recording over there. So you hit the target button and then you get a bird's eye view of that cipher machine. You can do a bunch of things with this. So you can either keep the bird's eye view going for a little bit. because it eventually does run out. But you can keep it going. During that time, survivors usually don't decode because you can record them so quickly and they don't want to get caught up and then have their recording stopped. But yeah, so basically you get a bird's eye view, and you can watch survivors, see where they are on the map, and then while you are bird's eye viewing, you as the clerk are still moving. So you'll see a little button towards the end saying how many steps you are away from said bird's eye view, and we'll get to that in a bit. Following up with that, you have the replay options of either forward or reverse. Let's say you're chasing a survivor and you're around a bunch of pallets and you start recording a survivor and they drop the pallet. If you want to undrop that pallet and walk right through it, all you would have to do is hit the reverse button on the replay mode and then replay that said clip, and then the pallet will be put back up. Now let's say you have a recording of a survivor dropping a pallet and you're chasing them and you come up to another pallet and you're like, hey, they're already injured. If I hit them one more time, I'm getting them down. So let's say they come up to a pallet in anticipation of walking through it and then dropping it. You can instead drop it prematurely by hitting the forward button on your replay mode and dropping the pallet ahead of time. So either they'll be like, what the heck's going on? Or they'll try to vault the pallet. And most likely with Clerk's hitbox, you will get terror shocked. So either way, use it as you'd like. Once you hit first presence, aka 2 hits with Clerk, you get the invalid abilities. So basically, anything that the survivor interacted with while they were being recorded will be locked for a set amount of time. Ooh, it's 9 seconds. It will be locked for 9 seconds. So if you're recording a survivor that has decoded, and then once that clip ends, that cipher machine will be locked for 9 seconds. Same goes if they drop a pallet during their recording. You can stop the recording, undrop the pallet, and then during that 9 seconds, if they try to loop you, they can't drop that pallet anymore. There will literally be purple rings around that pallet, and you can't interact with it. Same goes with exit gates, cipher machines. So yeah, that's very beneficial. Then once you hit full presence, you get the review ability. There's the option to turn this off. I've never seen the option really necessary to have it turned off, so I always have it on. If you're recording a survivor in anticipation of them dropping something or vaulting something, let's say they wait till the very last minute and drop the pallet. Everything else from that recording would be useless. With the review option, it cuts out all the fluff and you just get that necessary action of them vaulting the pallet, dropping the pallet. So it'll play immediately without any of the extra fluff and nothing happening before then. So that's really nice. I like that. As far as Clerk's persona web, this is my personal persona web for Clerk. The main thing here is detention. I usually carry detention with every hunter I have. It's just very beneficial, especially during endgame when you still have 3 or 4 survivors. Really want to get them down, and detention does that job. Another one, and this is more Clerk specific, with her charged attack, she has a very big hitbox. Even without her charged attack, her hitbox is insane. But specifically with impulsive and her charged attack, her movement speed increases by 8% when using said charge attack. So let's say she's trying to catch up to a survivor, and her hitbox is large to begin with. So she charges up her hitbox for a charge attack. She gets a movement speed increase, which catches you up to the survivor a little bit. And most of the time, I would say 80% of the time, it gets me the down with that survivor. These two, No Survivors and Berserker, coincide with each other. But basically with Berserker, let's say you put somebody on a rocket chair, your recovery speed from attack recovery will be increased by 25%. So basically when you're trying to stuff a rescue, this is a no-brainer. So let's say a survivor comes to rescue somebody that's on the chair. You have Berserker equipped. When you hit them, your attack recovery speed increases by 25%, basically helping you stuff that rescue. Now, let's say that you did stuff the rescue, basically meaning you got the other survivor downed before they actually got to rescue from the rocket chair. So now you have somebody on the rocket chair and somebody next to the rocket chair down. So this is where no survivors come into play. Within 25 meters of a knockdown survivor, which they would be if they're right by the rocket chair, you'll get an extra 8% increase in the hunter's abilities, recovery speed specifically, and it stacks up to 3 times. So it really helps you stuff those rescues, especially multiple stuffs. And if anybody does not know what stuffing means, stuffing is basically just stopping the survivors from rescuing. And this is probably a really aggressive build, given that a lot of it is for stopping survivors from rescuing and catching up to them. And I have confined space, which is probably a controversial pick for a clerk, only because it's built into her ability. But I tend to want to record survivors decoding, vaulting things. I'm not really a fan of recording myself. I have confined space. It's nice because I can just rely on me vaulting a window to block it, and then using my recordings for something else other than re-blocking a window. I do use it sometimes, but I wouldn't say all the time. But yeah, this is my normal persona web, the up-down build. But then if, depending on how I feel or the comp that I'm going up against, I'll go with this one where we have trump card. And with trump card, I always start out with blink, but then I either switch to teleport or abnormal based on the situation. Teleport if I want to get to an exit gate quickly, or abnormal if I want to make the decoding go away. And another useful thing, I'm going to go back to the recording here. You can also record Clerk using abnormal on a cipher machine. So basically, you record Clerk using abnormal on a cipher machine. The cipher machine already has reduced progress, but then you can use your recording in the forward motion to reduce it even more. So it brings it down a good 60-70% just by doing that. So that decoding is basically done. They take a few steps back after that. It's really useful if that's the last cipher machine and it's like close to being popped. Now they have a good 70% left to do still, so it puts them back a little bit. All right, so that is it for her presence abilities. Now let's go into an actual match and see how we can do this. So yeah, we want to do a custom match. We want to use bots. We'll do expert. I like using bots because they're so much easier to manipulate in a way that I want. I hate doing a random map because then it picks a really stupid map. Let's go with... So we want to do normal mode, but let's do red church. That sounds fun. All right, let's do this. All right, so let's by your bird's eye view ability. All right, so they went that way. And it's mercenary, but I mean, let's try this out. So yeah, so you see here with the recording button, you just wait until it goes over a specific... Oh, I think I lost him. Oh, there we go. So now we're recording him. He is doing at all times while he's being recorded. And also the vaulting pallet speed gets reduced. As you see, nothing happened here, so no value. Let's try and get up a pallet. Yes, here we go. Drop it. There. Oh, you bastards. I'm anticipating him dropping a pallet. Normally it stays with the forward, but forward, backward. Forward, backward. Ah, crap. I have the trump card build on right now, I can tell. Let's see if she can drop a pallet. There we go. She dropped the pallet. Reverse. Whoop. And boing. Dropping another one. Where'd you go? Another one. Okay. Now, let's go to bird's eye and stop some recording. So I'm looking here. This one looks shaky. And boop. Now, anything that he records from that time on will be stopped. So we'll go to bird's eye. And you can see that it is now blocked for that 9 seconds. We do reverse, and it reverses all the decoding that he just did. So that's very useful. Oh yeah, I do have trump card. I see it right there. Who's coming to rescue? Now let's do this. So this is Clerk's recording. Sorry if you hear my dog. He's very loud. Okay, here we go. And yeah, so that deals a chip damage. Let's see if I can get a chip damage on. So let's get a chip damage. There we go. So now he's chipped. Boop. No decoding for you. Come on. Yep. Now that is invalid, so she cannot use that again for 9 seconds. Her charge attack is amazing. Her regular attack's amazing too, but... And as you can see here, so we're replaying the clip forward. And we're not at full presence yet, so it's not going to block out all the fluff yet. So this is going to be the full recording. That's forward. That's backward. And then, like I said, if you just click the box and not drag it anywhere, it plays where it originally was. Prisoner, there you are. And now let's say that I wanted to record myself. You record, drop the palette. Okay, so he dropped this one. I can literally just play it forward, walk right through it. As you can see, I'm not recording her yet. I'm going to wait until she goes to a palette or something. Okay. Boop. As you can see, that palette cannot be used. Boop, boop, boop. Alright, so I opened up another game. So notice it'll say what you're at. Forward, reverse. Let's see what she does. Nothing, except, okay, there we go. It plays the entire recording. Let's have her drop a palette. There we go. Alright, let's do one of these. Let's say you're all the way over here, and you can't get over there in time. So if you want, you can inspect the area by doing that. And I think it gives you like a 6-second time frame, but you can, do that, bird's eye view. Where is this other person? Probably right there, at that cipher machine. Oh, never mind, they're right there. Boop. That was very nice of you. Boom. I want to use abnormal. Like, what the hell? This one's a good one. Okay. So, let's say I want to use abnormal. Recording, abnormal. And now that's all gone. Look at all that it just took off. And then if I want to do it again, just make sure that you're in forward, not reverse, forward. And then you can replay it and it'll take even more off. Look at that. It's completely gone. Oh, they're over there. Okay. come back here. Drop it, drop it, drop it. All right, so now we're going to another palette. Let's drop it prematurely. Boop. All right, so I hope that was an insightful first lesson into Clerk. This was just the basics. So moving forward, it'll be probably at least a 5-video series, each of them getting more advanced as the time goes on. But until next time, hope you have a great day and happy playing.